I am so happy to see you and to be here with you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to GemWise. Honestly, the next 2 weeks are going to be such a flippin' blast for us. I can't even begin to tell you, because on Wednesday, I board a plane to Gemstone Mecca for a little over a week. So you're going to see me every single day. You're going to see me more than you ever see me, because I'm going to be live in our group every day, at least once a day. So you truly, for your $20 this month, September ahead, literally you're getting more for your money than I've ever given you, truly. There's going to be at least one live per day. So you're going to get at least, I would say, 7 to 10 live videos of behind the scenes stuff you've never seen before, interviews, conversations, explorations, the giveaways that are going to happen. There will be thousands of dollars of giveaways in GemWise alone over the next 2 weeks. Your class content. I have started building my curriculum for 2018. Without question, it's the most exciting curriculum I've ever designed. I literally feel like all of my training has been leading up to this. So what I really want to tell you is you're in the right place. If you did not choose to purchase a Denver Insider, I want to urge you to reconsider. We are accessing more this year, more rare, more unique than I have ever had access to. You will, it's an understatement to tell you that you will not be disappointed. I don't know how many more Denver Insider listings there are available. So if there's one that fits your budget, I just promise you, I will be teaching next year. And I'll tell you, this was a long process of figuring out what that was going to look like. I didn't want to do it if it wasn't going to be flippin' amazing. And it's going to be flippin' amazing. You'll see, as soon as I start to announce what's going on, you'll realize, like, it is the next, this year was the next level up from the past 5 years in terms of complexity, the scope of our conversations, the depth of my teaching, the depth of your learning. Next year is like taking the lid off a box. Okay. I'm gonna take you flying next year. So anyway, there's a lot to look forward to. Stay with me is all I can say, and definitely don't leave GemWise now, because September is going to be the best month yet. Absolutely unreal. I thought this year was sort of the peak. I really thought, well, I have finally drawn a lot of lines for them. I've put a lot of things together. So when I channeled, and I literally just channeled the curriculum for 2018, and it was laid out before me in meditation, and it's gorgeous. It truly has come from source. I would not have come up with this. The name of it came from source. The work of each month came from source. It was not through my spirit. So anyway, I'm excited, because that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps all of this effervescent for me. Do you know what I mean? I know sometimes I'm teaching you something new, but I also have to feel like I'm being pushed. And this is pushing me. This is pushing my envelope of what I know, what I can do, what I think I know, and how I think I can put things together. But never before will I have blended for you the way I will next year. Not just gemology and aromatherapy and ritual and ceremony, but history and mythology and archaeology in ways I'm not going to tell you too much more about right now, but holy, okay? I don't know what price points are left available. I think the $50 are gone. I think the $100 remain, but I promise you, find one that works for you, because you will not regret it. And everybody's getting a free gift, a good gift. You're not just getting a tumbled stone. You're either getting a crystal, or you're getting jewelry. You're getting beautiful things. And so we're kind of really trying to outdo ourselves this year, and I think you're going to be delighted. Okay. So it's let me check and on that, because I think we may have a few more of the 100s that we can put back in stock for you. I'm not sure. So let me just get my team to brief me, because we talked about this. I'm pretty sure the 50s are out of stock and can't be replaced back in stock. Because I try to make sure that I only sell X number, so that I can really make sure I attend to each person's order. If it gets too big and out of control, I can't do the kind of work for you that I want to do. So for me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So anyway, and if it's not in your budget this year, that's okay. But those of you who are on the fence, I got a lot of private messages today saying, I'm not sure, and should I do it? And so if you aren't on the fence, then it's not the right time for you. If you are on the fence, I want to encourage you. Okay. I have so much to tell you about tonight. I'm gonna journey with you a little bit tonight, because these are the stones of journey. These are the stones of vision and vision questing. These are the stones that activate the upper chakras, and in particular the third eye, to enhance your intuition. What I'm going to teach you about tonight, I think will really support you in so many ways. The August kit, by the way, is sold out, but my team is going to put a link up for you to our class tools section. In fact, Hilda and team, if you could put that link up for us right now to the class tools section. We do have other pieces of dumortierite, other pieces of danburite, and other pieces of topaz to offer you. And so if you miss the set, you can kind of put your set back together. And again, everything is 17% off today, right, with code Labor Day. So I want to make sure that you have your code, you know that you're saving almost 20%. And if you want to, if I teach you tonight and I inspire you and you want the stones and we can't redo the August set, I at least want to make sure that you could purchase the separate pieces. And what's kind of nice is they're not exactly the same as what you had in your kit. I'm just showing you what we have left in stock of danburite, dumortierite, and topaz. But I think you will really, really, really enjoy. Now, one of the things I want to tell you, the kit that went live today, the Activate kit, do you know that the green turquoise in that kit, which is my free gift to you this month, is worth more than the entire kit? I love doing this stuff for you. I think you guys know I get a kick out of it. It drives my team crazy, by the way, because I'm always like, how low can we go? Because I know that for a lot of you, getting the tools is difficult. And so my goal is always to make sure that I offer you a flippin' unbelievable value. The green turquoise in this kit is worth more than the entire cost of the kit. The kit is $19 and you get 17% off, and then you get a free gift worth $25 in this beautiful piece of turquoise. Actually, you'll find, this is natural green turquoise, by the way. You'll find pieces like this for more than $50 online in different places. So thank you for letting me know that, Kristen said it's not protective or gem-wise. I'll make sure that it is, and that I alert my team. They're also watching the feed too. So anyway, the September kit is you're getting your money back, basically, and you're getting something very special. I've never had green turquoise to offer in this way, and it is unique to this particular kit, and it's my gift to you for next month's Gem-wise. I'm very excited about that. So if you didn't order September kit, you should order it, and just don't forget your code, which is very important. I have giveaways tonight. Are you ready? It's so beautiful. The green turquoise, if I were you, I would wire wrap it and wear it, because green turquoise, think of all of the properties of turquoise, right? Which is, it stabilizes your energy system and your central nervous system. The Native Americans, of course, believe it's the stone of the warrior, that it gives incredible strength and protection in battle. The green is the healing variation on that. So it stabilizes your endocrine system, it stabilizes your digestive system, and it provides strength to go through, especially if you're having physical challenges. Those of you with ongoing health issues, I work with green turquoise for my own chronic conditions with huge success. And it's also a heart chakra stone. So don't miss it. It's really, really special. I wouldn't tell you how special it is if I didn't believe it and feel it. And when I realized that we could do it for you as a gift in this set, my heart was pounding when we launched the kit this morning because of how special it is. So the code is Labor Day for 17% off. All one word, Labor Day, because it's Labor Day weekend here in the United States. And I'm excited about that. So I'm really excited for you too if you got it. Guess what I'm giving away tonight? I have a crystal clear. The lighting in here is bright, so it doesn't look as clear as it is. Crystal clear quartz flame. You know how to work with these, right? I've taught you this, where you find your solar plexus, which is 2 finger widths above your belly button, and you hold the flat side towards you, and it creates a vortex of energy. This is a very important energy tool for you to work with. I've never had them like this before. These are all hand cut, hand polished in Brazil by a beautiful family whose energy is amazing. And so one of these is going to go to one of you tonight. Then, I'm not done. And by the way, my team helped me to choose these offerings for tonight. So I went in and thanked them before I went live, because they get as excited as I get about giving stuff to you. When they know they're helping me choose giveaways, their heart's in it. You know what I mean? Because they think, what would I want? What would I love? This is one of the most beautiful red hematoid quartz hearts I have ever seen. Again, it's hard with the light in here to show you and to do it justice. It is completely translucent. This side has rainbows all over it if you take it out in bright sunlight. It's literally your heart. And this is a stone of protection and love. It activates both the root and the crown chakra because it's quartz and hematite. I know, it's like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. I wish I had more than this to give to you, but I have one piece to give tonight. And my last giveaway, are you ready? And these are all really different stones. What's kind of cool is, you know, some of you will be drawn to that quartz flame, and I don't blame you, and then others of you won't. And so others of you might feel that red hematoid quartz heart is more aligned because you're working on protection, protection magic or something like that. If you are working on protection magic, the last giveaway for tonight is this beautiful obsidian double terminated wand. And the way you use this is you can call in protection to you from above. You can direct protective energies from you to someone else. You can call in protection energies from source down into your body, down into your spaces. This is just like I sometimes use my shungite wand, you know, to ground and purify and clear energies. This is exactly the same process. As above, so below. Obsidian, okay? Obsidian is your auric cleanser. This stone is like a bar of soap for your aura. And so if you walk into a room or if you walk into a space, if you're a crystal healer, you should just be carrying this with you. If you sense anything dark or uncomfortable in your space, all you have to do is hold this out, call in divine white light of protection from above, send that energy down below, and you will create your own vortex of protection around your space. Obsidian, of course, is referred to in Game of Thrones as dragon's glass, right? Thought to be capable of killing the most dangerous creatures on the planet. And, you know, for me, as someone who works metaphysically with crystals, I wasn't too surprised to hear them choose obsidian because it does have this lore, you know, it has this reputation for clearing the aura, for clearing energy from spaces, for protecting. It's thought to prevent you from experiencing energy attacks or psychic attacks of any kind. It helps with grief, of course, because obsidian helps you to transmute, especially low vibration emotions. And so grief, trauma, sadness, anxiety, all of that gets mitigated by obsidian. Isn't it beautiful? If you don't win tonight, by the way, these are in the shop. In fact, I think we just listed them yesterday. So some of you may have bought one, but those of you who didn't buy one, I think there's a few left, and then I'm giving this one away. I think it's so beautiful. Aren't they gorgeous? It's a drop in the bucket compared to what's happening to you next week with Denver. Drop in the bucket. So I cannot wait to be with you. But I have so much to tell you before we get there. My notes, I always like to show you my notes so that you see like how crazy my brain is and like what happens in my head when I'm preparing for all of our things. So let me not delay at all with you, and we'll see how far we get tonight. We're going to talk about beautiful stones, and we're going to talk about vision and protection, and we're going to talk about orthorhombic crystals and why they are called the dispellers of negative energy, the detoxifiers. And so tonight's stones aren't just good for activating the third eye and your inner vision. I do save my notes, actually. Thank you for asking that, Sabrina. I save everything. I have like a vault. And even though I'm writing the books, once the books are done, I'm still going to keep my notes because I think there's energy in those notes. I imagine one day my daughter will want those, or if she doesn't want them, one of you will want them. So I kind of keep all that stuff because I think it has all my little notes, and sometimes I write poems on there or power words, or I draw pictures, you know, so someday someone will look through all of that and see all the love that I put into my teaching. So I think that's kind of special. Right? I figure somebody will want them. It may not be my kids. They may be like, ugh, enough. Enough of mom and all her weird stuff, right? So anyway, if my kids don't want it, one of you will have to step up and promise to claim them for me so they don't go to waste, right? I know you are my children in so many ways. You're my sisters and my daughters. Sometimes I feel like you're my granddaughters, even if you're younger than me. because I have this sort of like, I was saying that this morning on my, I don't know if a lot of you were actually watching the interview because I knew you were there. But if you didn't see my interview this morning with uplifting content, you can find it on the main page of Facebook, or you can find it on my personal page. But I was talking about that this morning. How important I think it is to leave your mark, and also to appreciate, the legacy of the work that you do. So thank you so much, you guys. I value you and your perspective and your place in my heart. And I really do. I think of us as family. When you are sad, it literally breaks my heart. It breaks my heart as much as it would if my own sister came to me and said, I'm having a hard time. Last night I was laying in bed reading comments on my post from yesterday, and the outpouring of authentic feeling, and how you guys show up, and how grateful I feel that you're even willing to tell me anything. It's like how honored I am to receive your honesty, and how I hope I meet you with as much honesty and vulnerability, because I want you to see that. It's true. We are family. That's what Annalisa is singing right now. It's true, though. I do. And you know what? Just like family, we go through lumps and bumps and weird things, and sometimes miscommunications and things, but at the end of the day, we know we love each other. It can be a dysfunctional family sometimes, but my family is very dysfunctional. So if yours is too, then we have a lot in common, right? Okay. I'm going to tell you, one of the things I want to tell you, and like I said, my team is going to put the link up for the class tools, just because I don't want you searching for stuff. If you don't have the mini book of stones, I want to encourage you, especially while we have a sale going, to choose it. Do you know that you can use this to give yourself gemstone readings every day? I was actually just doing a stone reading for someone before I came in here, because someone was asking in social, what stone would you use for me for right now? And what I do is I just flip through the book until I feel intuitively right. I don't look at the pages. I just flip through and then open it. And it opened to jade. And so then I read. And if you want to know how to really become an encyclopedia about your stones, this is exactly the way to do it. Because if you do that, like if every morning, it sounds kind of gross, but this is kind of like one of those books you can read on the toilet. I know it's gross, but it's really true. And so if you do that every morning, if you're like, boom, open it, these can be your stones for the day. If you have them, you can work with them. If you don't, you can just read about them and learn about them. This is the way you become sort of encyclopedic with your wisdom. So if you're already doing that, great. If you're not, I highly recommend it, because for me, Robert Simmons is a voice of clarity in the gemstone world. In fact, some of the affirmations for the stones tonight that I'm going to read to you are actually from Simmons' books, either the Book of Stones or the Stones of the New Consciousness. And so those are stones that I highly recommend. I think he's legit. And I admire him. And I admire the incredible work that he's done in our field, and how he has advanced our understanding of metaphysics in a really solid and almost academic way. Unlike other people who do it in kind of an airy-fairy, dumb way that people can make fun of. I think Robert Simmons is grounded in his understanding and in the nuances of his awareness. Aren't the affirmations beautiful, Sky is saying that they are? I absolutely agree with you, sweet one. I think they're so beautiful. Part of what I love about the big Book of Stones, if you haven't experienced it, is that he has his affirmation, which is, of course, a reflection of the divine masculine, and then she has her affirmations, which is, of course, the reflection of the divine feminine. And so you can kind of read and read into how the divine masculine works with a stone as opposed to the divine feminine. Sometimes it's complementary, and sometimes it's conflicting. And I actually find it really interesting when it's conflicting. Like things don't have to always fit. And so that's interesting too. By the way, our gemstone flash tattoos are coming tomorrow. Aren't they fun? We have rainbow, red, green, all these different crystal flash tattoos. All the things, all the time. Okay, you ready? So tonight, my sage doesn't want to go out. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm going to smudge us one more time. When your sage doesn't go out, it's usually just a sign that it's not finished yet. So calling in all of our clearing guides to help us to remove any energy that's unwanted in the space, sending that energy down to the very center of the earth where it can be transformed and transmuted into usable white light. We send that energy to Gaia as a gift, and may it be used to heal the planet as you see needed and fit. And together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. I had to bust into full ritual mode there for a minute because my sage asked me to do that. So it is. It's still not going out. What's coming up that needs to be cleared? Sweet sage. What's coming up that needs to be cleared? Okay, did I get it? I mostly got it. It happens. And you know what? Our job is to listen. Aho. Okay. So tonight we're talking about vision, and I want to communicate to you that we're talking about both inner vision and outer vision. You're going to hear me in the next couple of weeks start to talk more about shamanic practice. So much of the work that I do is shamanic, and even though it's almost like the way that shaman work is they don't talk about shamanism, they don't say that things are shamanic. It's almost like a taboo word. Like if you say that you're a shaman, that absolutely means you're not a shaman. It's really funny, but it's absolutely true. I will tell you, our entire Samhain kit, which is coming to you soon, our main Samhain kit, is the Shamanic Rebirth Kit. I have been waiting to create a Shamanic Rebirth Kit for you, I don't know, for 2 years. And so that's what we're going to be doing during our Samhain ritual this month on October 30th. I'm doing live public Samhain ritual on the 30th of October here in LA. It'll also be online. And I'm actually going to take you through a shamanic rebirth ritual. So when I start to talk to you about shamanic energies, shamanic transformation, shamanic rebirth, I'm kind of starting to lay the groundwork for you, because the good news is you guys are going to understand way more by the time we get there than most people in the general community who haven't had much exposure to these concepts. It's important work, because those of you who live, especially those of you who live with disease and pain, all that is unhealed trauma from the past. And if we can get into those old wounds, we can unleash them. We can unhook them from your energetic systems. And to me, that is the root of healing, truly. If you want to, interesting that some of you have been really drawn to this for a long time. Really, there is no other way to healing, no matter what kind of condition you live with, but in particular, if it's a chronic condition, that is simply trauma that hasn't been addressed. And shamanism, in my experience, is really the only way to get in there. And so our ritual is going to be about going into those pockets and those places to unhook that trauma. I'm going to ask you to focus on one particular place in your body, mind, or spirit for that ritual. You may want to begin now, even though that ritual is still almost 2 months away. Start now asking your guides, what should you be looking into at that time? And yes, a Christian said, what if it's a disability you were born with? Absolutely. Because you know what? That may not be your trauma. That could be trauma in your line. And so a lot of us come into this life with health problems. That's because that is unhealed trauma from the ancestors. The mother passed that down. The father passed that down. The grandmother passed that down. And so what we can do shamanically is go in, find the root cause of that, even if it's back in your line, because shamanic energy traverses generations, and so it doesn't have to be your wound. You can still get to it. And in fact, so many of us think that what we have, I'd love to, Terry, it's a great question, actually. So many of us think that what we have is about here and now, but it's really not. There is a wound and there's an original wound, okay? And sometimes you have to, in shamanic journey, you have to trace back generations sometimes, if not millennia, if not soul lifetimes, to find the original wound. What you think is a shitty relationship with your partner actually probably has something to do with your relationship with your father. And that probably has something to do with a relationship from a past life or further down the line. And so if you don't get underneath that original wound, even if you divorce your current partner, the same iteration is going to show up for you again, because the original wound hasn't been addressed. And this is why, that's absolutely true, Colin. She says this gets into karmic release work too. And so it's all connected. It's all been leading us here. If you notice, my work is getting a little bit deeper. I still try to find ways to give a superficial dose of it to people who don't quite want to go down the rabbit hole with me. But I know that's not you. And so that's why I'm sort of laying the groundwork for all of us to do this work together. The sabbatical karmic release ritual, is it not tomorrow? I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. You guys can double check your calendar, but I'm pretty sure that's happening mañana. Yeah, of course it does. Tara says it goes back to when my mom was pregnant with me. I mean, it absolutely does. And so we have to go back to the original place. And so it is. Okay. So tonight we are beginning that journey with these stones. Okay, these are shamanic stones. Okay, no question about it. And in fact, the most powerful of the trio in shamanic terms is your Danburite. My piece has little red calcite crystals on it that I love so much. I don't know if yours has that. Mine is a very light pink with red calcite crystals. It's from the same lot as yours, so yours may have it too. Little tiny sweet Danburite that you could wire up beautifully and wear, which I would recommend. And by the time we're done tonight, you're going to be so obsessed with Danburite that you won't ever want to be without that little crystal again. Yeah, let me double check the schedule, or if my team is watching, if you guys can update us about the date and time of the karmic release ritual for Magical Sabbatical. I would so appreciate it, because I don't want to go grab my phone. My team always watches, so watch the feed. They will put the link for the class tools section. They will also put the link for you for, or they'll comment and tell us date and time for Sabbatical karmic release, because that's on the schedule. Okay? Very cool. All right. So we're talking about the orthorhombic crystals tonight, which have this beautiful lattice structure. By the way, no, Rose is asking if you have the September schedule. We don't usually post it until the last day of the month, so stand by. You'll be getting that very soon. You have two crystals that may look similar to you, but they're very, very different. Your topaz, your imperial pink topaz, is sort of short and squat a little bit, and your Danburite is usually a little bit longer and skinnier. Your pink topaz is going to have almost a triangular face to it. Whereas your Danburite, well, will have a triangular face to it as well, because these are both sort of flat terminations, as they call them. Your Danburite has lines on it, by the way. So the topaz does not have lines on the face of it, but the Danburite does. It almost looks like somebody etched it down the face. And so those are the primary differences between your pink imperial topaz, which is in your kit tonight, and your Danburite. And then, of course, this is your Tremorderite, which is blue quartz from Brazil. And then you have your peridot right here, which you're also going to fall in love with when we're done tonight. I'm so excited for you. Okay. The orthorhombic crystals are considered to be the dispeller crystals. Okay. And so what they do is they restore depleted energy reservoirs. So these are especially important stones. Thank you so much, SG team. So karmic release, yes, is tomorrow at 5 p.m. Make sure, if you don't know what the class schedule is, it's always pinned in our groups. And we pinned the August schedule, I think, on the first day of August. So if you don't know when classes are meeting, make sure that you are part of those Facebook groups, that you are looking at the pinned posts, that you have the dates and times. So appreciated. Okay. Dispeller crystals restore of lost energy. Okay. And so if you are trying to create a new experience in your life, different health, different prosperity, different peace, different balance, whatever it is that you're trying to shift or recreate, if you're trying to create a new pattern of behavior or a new pattern of awareness, these stones are going to help you release any energies that are not in service to those energy streams. And they're going to help you dispel any negative energy in the field. They're going to open doorways to other dimensions, in particular that Danburite, although that topaz is super powerful too. Releasing excess energy. So one of the things that these particular stones do that other stones don't do in the orthorhombic family as dispellers is they help you to ground residual energy. If you ever do ritual and you feel like you're kind of shaky afterward, or the room feels heavy afterward, these are stones that you can use to take excess energy out of the space and send it down into the earth. They automatically do it. So they're constantly, think of them almost like air filters. That's a weird analogy, but think of these stones as almost like air filters in your room, like a HEPA filter, okay? They are removing excess energy, like literally pulling it off of you and out of your spaces and down into the earth. So they automatically mitigate a lot of the stress that you're experiencing in your environment, especially as an empath. Because what a lot of us don't realize is our anxiety, I don't know about you, but I have anxiety attacks sometimes. I don't have them all the time. But when I do, it feels, and yes, Michelle, your tumbled Danburite for sure is as effective as the natural. In fact, it's far more rare because Danburite doesn't tumble well. Most of it breaks. And so tumbled Danburite is actually twice the price of natural Danburite. So it's actually a beautiful way to work with. But yeah, I don't know if you get anxiety attacks, but I do sometimes, and it feels like I'm having a heart attack, right? Like it legit feels like you're dying, doesn't it? And it's so funny because when I have one, the people in my life look at me like, how are you having an anxiety attack, right? Like as if because I do this work, I'm not allowed to be human or have a human central nervous system or experience fear and anxiety or stress. Like I don't care how long you've been doing this work and how many crystals you have. There are going to be times in your life, Lauren's like, girl. But it's true. People think if you're a spiritual person or if you're a spiritual teacher that you don't have access to stress or anxiety, your body doesn't register it. So, and that's true. Anxiety is always the sign that something's being released. Something's coming up for healing and it's asking to be let go. So I always welcome anxiety attacks, even though it's a big shit show and you don't want to go through it. And sometimes it physically hurts. Like sometimes your chest will ache afterward. I just want you to know that I understand. Like when you say, oh my God, I'm having an anxiety attack, that's not foreign territory for me. And in fact, I will tell you that a lot of the things that you struggle with, which is why I want you to feel comfortable expressing to me, run in my family, all kinds of different mood disorders and chemical imbalances in the brain that have led my family to extreme struggles with OCD, agoraphobia, bipolar, and all kinds of other things. So you're not in unfamiliar territory for me and with me if you go through those things. But I do think we have to find ways, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm human. Hate to disappoint you. We have to find ways to work. And so these stones are going to be the stones that you should carry with you all the time, especially if you're going through a difficult time in your life. And shit's happening and you can't control it, and you're not in control of anything anyway. But these stones are going to help you to dispel some of that anxiety. They're going to give you incredible clarity because they activate those upper chakras, especially that dumortierite. Like I said, after tonight, I'm really hoping that you'll fall in love with these stones all over again. Okay, banishing negative energy, confidence, reminding you that you are safe in who you are, that your identity, your authentic identity, is exactly who you're meant to be in this moment. You don't need to change, be someone different, do anything different. These are stones that help you to really rest in your power, which is a huge concept for a lot of us who have been told that we're not powerful or that we're not healers or that the things that we do are not true. These are the energies that these stones try to counteract. So I wanted to express that to you. Other stones in the orthorhombic family besides the stones we're talking about tonight, iolite lands itself in the orthorhombic category, cerussite and barite, which are two of my favorite minerals from Morocco. Those land themselves in the orthorhombic category, and starolite, interestingly enough, also orthorhombic. So if you want to look at other stones in your collection, like maybe you have a piece of cerussite with barite, right? Or maybe you have a piece of starolite, or you have a piece of iolite, keep those with these other stones, because all they're going to do is magnify the energies and the properties that we're already talking about tonight. It's fun, right? So this set is sold out. I don't think it's coming back, unfortunately. But if you go to Class Tools, and my team will put the link up for you right now, if you go to Class Tools, we will have for you there other forms of dambarite, other forms of dumortierite, other forms of peridot, and so forth, so that you can collect, and maybe bigger pieces or different pieces, something that might attract you in a different way. So you can check those out too. Okay, so let's start with pink topaz, shall we? Are you ready for this? This pink topaz is worth the price of your entire kit. I think I told you that last month. So you basically got everything else for free. This is not just pink topaz. This is pink imperial topaz. Okay? There are 3 different colors of imperial topaz. There is an orange color, a yellow color, and a pink color. The orange, and listen, orange imperial topaz is flippin' rare. Okay, so when I tell you that this is the most valuable of the 3 colors, I really want you to understand that orange imperial topaz is still considered to be the queen of the topaz family. When I'm at Denver and Tucson and I see orange imperial topaz, every vendor is always like, oh, it's so rare. And I'm thinking, do you have pink? Because if you have pink imperial topaz, now you're speaking my language. When I got these for you last year, it was the first and only time I had ever been offered to purchase pink topaz, pink imperial topaz, and I had never been offered natural terminations. This is a natural point. That triangular shape that you're seeing, that is a natural termination. And so there's something very special about receiving pink imperial topaz in the exact form that our planet yielded it for us. Isn't that incredible? Like, I absolutely feel like this is a treasure. Pam, I'm coming back to your question. Let me see what Pam was asking. So that's the tumbled one. No, actually, no, it's not tumbled. The only 2 tumbled stones in your set, by the way, are your dumortierite and your peridot. Your pink topaz is natural and your dambarite is natural. You may have, some people got a tumbled piece of dambarite instead of the natural. If you did, you got a more valuable stone. And it was about supply for us. So if you did get a tumbled clear stone in your set, that's going to be your Dambarite. And then the rougher, the more natural stone that is like white pink, that is your pink Imperial Topaz. Does that help? I just want to make sure you guys know that, so you know what you're looking at. Are you good? I'm just going in the feed to make sure. Cynthia, if you got a big one, you're just lucky. Right? It's an art, not a science for us. So, you know, some people got slightly bigger pieces. I got what I would consider a slightly smaller piece, and so it's more about making sure that you got your stones. Samantha said she didn't get her peridot, so hopefully you've already sent an email to Magic. We will fix that for you immediately. That's just a mistake, probably. So just make sure that you let us know. Okay, so pink Imperial Topaz is called precious. Okay, so when you see precious topaz, precious Imperial Topaz, because it is of all of the topaz, and think about every color, right? Because topaz goes from, you know, clear all the way to like a light baby blue to a rich blue, almost to like a Swiss blue, and then it goes to a London blue. And you have, you know, the cognac topaz, and then you get my precious, right? I love you, Scara. It's really funny. And then you go to the Imperial family. So there's topaz, which is like all the white, all the blue. If you guys didn't get your peridots, no problem, but just email Magic, okay? That way they can take care of you, because you may have actually not noticed it was in your bag because it's tiny. I'm worried that maybe some of you might have thrown it away. But if you didn't get it, not to worry at all. We will fix that for you. My team's so good. They never question. They will replace. They will send. They will. I absolutely love the people who work at SG. And some of you know that already, but those of you who don't know, just know we will always take care of you. Okay. The chakra for pink topaz is the heart chakra. On the measure of hardness scale, the Mohs scale that we always talk about, that goes from 0 to 10, right? 10 being a diamond, which is the hardest substance on the planet. On the Mohs scale, your pink topaz is an 8. Sun sign Sagittarius, element of fire. Okay, so, and I kind of like it. Thank you for saying all that, by the way. I will pass that feedback along to them. They are truly goddesses. Some of the girls in support in customer service have been with me the whole time we've been here in LA, and I consider them to be absolute guardian angels. I mean, when I think about Elisa and Sharon, to me, there really aren't finer people, and so I feel blessed to have them. And they feel blessed to have you. They truly love you. Okay, 2 places on Earth you're going to find pink Imperial Topaz. That is Brazil and Afghanistan. At this point in our evolution, there just is no more pink Imperial Topaz on the planet. If there are other mines or other pockets, they're closed. And I think that's part of the problem, because there's really only one pocket in Brazil, and there's only one pocket in Afghanistan, which is close to the Pakistani border. It's a very dangerous place, largely Taliban controlled. And so it's you know, the Taliban controlled areas, by the way, are inaccessible. It's not like people are actively selling stones out of those regions. So sometimes people are worried about that. What my sources tell me is, if you're worried about your stones coming out of Taliban controlled areas, you can't even get into Taliban controlled areas. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. But these particular pieces come to you from Brazil. Romans believed that pink Imperial Topaz was aligned with Jupiter. And they actually believed that pink well, I want to run through the whole gamut of what they believed. Are you ready? The Russian czars, Tsar Nicholas, okay, when the Russian czars were in power, they laid claim to every deposit of pink topaz that came out of Russia at the time. There was a mine, a pink topaz mine in Russia that was operational. Just like Cleopatra, remember the story about Cleopatra? How she laid claim to every active mine where lapis was being mined in ancient Egypt, because she thought it brought her power and she didn't want anybody else to have it. It's the same thing with the czars, okay? So the czars, and this is one of the reasons, by the way, that this, like I said, the value of that stone exceeds the value of your whole set. This is one of the reasons why. And so the czars, Tsar Nicholas and the Tsarina, they're the ones who named it Imperial, because they thought that made it sound more official, more magical, more powerful, and more rare. And it does. And to this day, that name, Imperial Topaz, has lasted. I want to make sure I taught you that, because one of my main questions always was, where does Imperial come from? Who decided this is Imperial? Why do we carry forward that name? It comes out of the history of the czars who laid claim to every possible pocket of topaz that was pink. The czar believed that the pink topaz was actually a gift from the gods. And I think every royal, every pharaoh, every queen who has ever laid claim to a stone thought that there was some connection between the stones that they worked with and their own divine right, power, and authority. It has happened historically, right? Like the Queen of England feels that way about rubies and sapphires. She believes that those are stones that affirm her authority and her power, and that's why most of her crowns include those stones. So all pink is imperial because pink is so rare. You're not really going to find natural pink. Now you will find synthetic pink topaz. Like when you find pink topaz in jewelry stores, it's like bubblegummy pink. A lot of times that has been colored or treated. And so what's really special about the pieces that you have is that they are natural. That is a natural pink topaz that you're holding in your hands. So exciting. But by the way, that's why the kit sold out, because everybody knew. It's sort of like the green topaz this month. Everybody knew that there was something super rare that I can't really bring back unless I ever come across a pocket like that again, which if I find it in Denver, I would be very excited, but it didn't happen for me before. Yeah, Peggy, sometimes, size doesn't matter when it comes to these super precious stones. And actually the piece that's in my hand right now could actually be cut and faceted down to a full 1 carat stone that you could actually, put into jewelry. It would be worth hundreds of dollars. So it's really cool to look at the piece that you have. If you don't see the pink, one of the things you have to do is put it against paper. Sometimes you can only see the color in your near colorless stones when you lay it on a white piece of paper or a white background. Same with your Danburite. If you want to see, like mine is the subtlest shade of pink, but it almost looks white until I put it on paper, and that's when the pink color emerges. Okay, here are all the properties of pink topaz. You ready? I love it so much. Okay, good fortune, manifestation, detoxification, protection, strength. Like I said, called imperial because of the Russian Tsars. The Indians, and I'm talking about India, the country of India, believe that topaz is a throat chakra stone, and they actually believe that it should be used by artists, that it helps singers to sing more beautifully, that it helps painters to paint more beautifully. And so in India, topaz in general, not just pink imperial, but all topaz is believed to be the stone of the artist, which I really think is special. The ancient Greeks, okay, reminds me of Lord of the Rings, if you know Lord of the Rings, where some of them had swords that would turn blue when the orcs were around. Do you remember that series, or that series of movies, and how they had like special swords that would turn blue? The ancient Greeks believed that their topaz stones would change color to warn them of danger, and in particular their stones would change color when enemies were close by or when they were drinking or eating something poisonous. And you have to remember, back in ancient Greece and in ancient Rome, poison was a real thing. We don't so much talk about poison anymore, but poison was one of the main ways people would murder each other, especially people in power. And so this became like the royal tester stone. Like before you would drink something, you would hold your topaz, and the ancient Greeks believed that it would change color if they were about to drink something or eat something unsafe. Carol, I love that question, and I love you for asking it. Carol says, would this be a good one to wire wrap and wear as a necklace? I have one pendant, it's about that big, that is pink topaz. Maybe it's about, it's small, it's tiny. I'm going to tell you when to wear topaz. Are you ready? Did you know that topaz is one of the only stones, other than optical calcite and peacock ore, that you can actually use very effectively in invisibility magic? Okay? And I would like to encourage you actually to pair it with Izurine, because Izurine creates a boundary around your aura, protects you from outside influences. Topaz, in my experience, can legitimately make you less visible. And so if you are feeling attacked or under scrutiny for any reason, like at work, if people are being unkind or whatever's happening, and you just kind of want to disappear a little bit, wear your topaz. The ancient Greeks actually really believed that. And in the Battle of Sparta, many of them had topaz burnished into their shields. Isn't that cool? Because they really believed that it would make them less visible to their enemies, and that it would change color if they were in the proximity of danger. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, if you're already invisible and you want to be more visible, that would be very helpful. It would absolutely be, without question, one of the best stones to ward against bullying of any kind. okay? What you could do then is pair that perhaps with a stone that actually attracts loving kindness to you, like Unakite jasper. So if you wanted to be a little less visible, if you're experiencing bullying, you would use your pink topaz, and then you would combine that with Unakite, which actually attracts loving kindness. Howlite is another stone that attracts loving kindness to you. The girasol quartz. Did you see those beautiful palm stones that we have? That's a stone that attracts loving kindness to you. So it's really interesting how you can combine stones to synergize their effect, because so many stones are complementary to each other. And that's why I always try to give you like pairings, almost like wine with food. This one goes with that one goes with this. And I also always tell you those things because a lot of you have other stones in your collection, and maybe they're dormant, so it's like I kind of want you to go back to your stone drawer or your stone tray and pick up your Isurine now and think about how you might use that if you're feeling too much presence, you know what I mean? And if you're feeling invisible, it's sort of the opposite, right? Where, yeah, Terry, that's interesting. People aren't unkind, they're just underdeveloped. By the way, I agree with you, Lauren, sweet sisters. We see you. You might be invisible to the rest of the world, but you are not invisible to us. I see you. Your sisters see you. We wrap our arms around you. And you can work on not being invisible. You can work on being more visible and showing up more fully. That's kind of the opposite work of what we're talking about right now. But for those of you who want to do that work, certainly that's one way that you can begin to work with crystals too on the opposite side. Love, love, love you. Okay, cool. So what else can I tell you? The largest imperial topaz on record is 97.45 carats. That is the largest cut faceted imperial topaz. And it is housed in a museum. So that's a nice big stone. That's going to look that's probably about 100 carats, depending on the specific gravity and density of the stone. And I think that is everything I wanted to tell you about pink topaz. Let me read you the affirmation that I gave you in your classroom, which is, I stand in my truth. You ready? And you can hold your crystal while I'm reading this to you, just to help you connect more deeply, more fully. I stand in my truth as it is ever being revealed to me. I visualize myself sailing into uncharted territory, rediscovering myself on the journey. The great fire of spirit burns within me, and I open my heart to receive my own wisdom. I am my cosmic consciousness in my human body. I am the sun, the moon, and the stars in one place. That's what your pink topaz will remind you of and reveal to you. It will also reveal deception to you. So just like, and that would be a complementary stone to apatite, which is also a stone of revealing deception. But if you're afraid that there are people who are doing things around you and that you don't see or you don't understand, work with topaz, in particular with apatite. The neon blue apatite is the best one for discerning deception, but any of the colors of apatite will also work well for that purpose. Isn't that cool? All right. Danburite. Actually, do I want to save Danburite for last? Because it's the journey stone. Let's do that. You ready? Let's go to Dumortierite, which is blue quartz. I always tell people, did you know Dumortierite is blue quartz? It's really important for you to know that. The pink topaz, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll say it again. Pink topaz is a heart chakra stone. And now we're switching to third eye. So Dumortierite is third eye. That's the one we chose to print vision on for you. This is, and by the way, the best thing you can do with this stone is lay down and put it right here. Your piece has a flat side. We chose everybody's piece in particular to make sure it had a flat side. And the reason is, and I wish you would do it right now if you could actually, maybe just lay down and put it on your head and listen to me for a minute, like for the next 5 minutes, because I really want you to have an encounter with this stone. I think you're going to feel a profound effect. So if you could take a nice deep breath and then lay down and put it right here. So yes, Ashley, brilliant question. By the way, did you know that aventurine is also quartz? Green aventurine is green quartz. It's kind of funny. We have all these names for things, right? But at the end of the day, you start looking at the measure of hardness scale values, and you see that Dumortierite is a 7. Interesting. Quartz is also a 7. Aventurine is a 7. Interesting. Quartz is also a 7, and that's because aventurine really is also another name for a form of quartz. Okay, it's cold. Are you ready? If you are laying down, place it right over your third eye and close your eyes. And I want you to imagine that your stone, because this is a water element stone too. In fact, the elements are fire, wind, and water. Sun sign Leo, third eye chakra, 7 on the measure of hardness scale because it is fundamentally silicon dioxide. And then the sources are Madagascar and Brazil. Yours is Brazilian. It's my favorite place to get it. Not that I have anything against the Madagascar Dumortierite, as I don't. Did you see or do you own the natural blue quartz pieces I had for you a while ago? I had points, and I had double terminated points, and I had little mini clusters, and I had natural pieces. Last year in Brazil, they found a pocket of blue quartz and white quartz. And people went off like crazy about it. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's a stunning deep indigo color. Remember the points? Melanie remembers the points. Unfortunately, we can't get any more of the flat pieces to print on them. It's actually the blue Dumortierite with a flat edge and the pink topaz that's holding up the kits. We literally put as many of them as we could out for you. It's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, if you have one, you have a really special piece. And so I hope that you will enjoy it if you got one. Yes, Melissa's joining us asking about codes. So Labor Day is 17% off today for everything. And then if I can ask the team, if you can just put the link up again for class tools right now, in case I think you put it up earlier, but if you could put it one more time. Because a lot of, even though we don't have any more of the kit in stock, we have other forms of Dumortierite that you might be interested in. Okay, here are the qualities. Are you ready? Divine inspiration, patience. But here's how the patience works with Dumortierite. I want to take it down to another level because we talk about patience all the time with Dumortierite. And it almost starts to sound trite, like, oh, do you need patience? Is this how you work with patience? But let me explain to you how it does its work with patience. It's really not so much about patience as it is about perseverance, not giving up. This is the stone of not giving up. If you are going through something hard and you kind of have to just go through it, you have to go through it to get to the other side. You have to go through it to learn the lesson that you're learning. You have to experience it in order for your soul to evolve. This is your perseverance stone. It will almost be, Elsa said her third eye is going crazy. Yeah, how are you feeling, you guys? If you're laying down, I would love to know. And Michelle loves it. I love it too. I mean, even though it's historically, it hasn't been thought of as sexy as lapis lazuli, which is a comparable stone in the sense that they both activate the third eye. They both have this really powerful queen energy to them, right? I mean, these are stones of the high priestess in so many ways. But I love the idea that you're laying there and you have this sitting right here because I think it's a really important for you to work with. We do have the bracelets actually in stock. I don't know if they're in stock. We did have the bracelets very recently too. So if you have a bracelet, that's another form for you to work with. It enhances memory, in particular soul memory. This is a stone that you can use in meditation to access memories of past lives. And so that's another way that my Akashic healers, my past life regressionists, my psychotherapists and the people who do regression work, and I have a lot of clients who do that work and come to me for these stones. This is a very powerful one for accessing what they call the higher self or the meta self, the part of you that it's accessible in different kinds of hypnotherapy, including QHHT, if you're familiar with that. And so this is a really important stone for you to work with. What it does is it helps you decode the signs. So let's say you do shamanic journey work, which also, is primarily in shamanic journey work, the guides communicate in symbols. They don't really often give you specific language, and so they leave you to have to decode some of these symbols. This is a really powerful stone for you to do that. Tara's asking, will I do a past life meditation? I would love to do that, actually. I would love to. In sabbatical next month, we're doing an Akashic Records meditation when we talk about connecting. So if you're in sabbatical, you're going to get a taste of that next month anyway, because you're going to access a lot of past life information when I take you into the Akashic Records. So if you're interested in that and you're not in sabbatical yet, I would recommend signing up tomorrow so that you're with us in September. You don't have to sign up and stay forever, but if you're really interested in past life regression and accessing the Akashic Records and finding out more about your soul path and purpose, September and sabbatical is going to be a pretty good opportunity for you to do that as a little preview. I know. Yeah, Tara, I agree with you. I actually used to do past life readings for people. I retired from it because I had a year-long wait list, and I always felt so bad if I didn't feel good or I had to cancel because people had waited in some cases months to have a reading. So I don't do them as much anymore. There are people in our community. I don't know if Lisa Machado is online with us tonight, but if you are, Lisa, if you could just say hi. Lisa does beautiful past life readings for people, and I trust her. And so that's one person that I would point you to as an example of someone in our community who has deep integrity around the past life work that she does and has really healed a lot of people in our community too. Okay. Astral travel and dream work. Okay. If you're in Illumina, your September content, by the way, is all about dream work and Pluto in the houses. It's going to give you this like really deep dive on what it means to have Pluto in the different houses in your chart and how that connects to dream work and dream interpretation. So if you're in classes, you're going to see like this interesting synergy between everything we're talking tonight and then everything that's coming in Illumina next month and everything that's coming in Sabbatical next month and so forth. Okay, so that is Dumortierite, one of my faves. My piece is like, it's funny, that stone was so cold when I picked it up 5 minutes ago. It is like on fire right now. Is yours really warm? Mine got hot. And so that is a powerhouse piece for you to work with. Let's talk about peridot. Ready? I'm so glad you like it. I know I'm talking like a mile a minute right now, but you know how I get when I'm all excited. I literally love every stone that we're talking about tonight. Not that I don't love all the stones, but I literally love every stone. This is my birthstone. And I know it's small, but peridot is not cheap. Peridot is not a precious stone, but it is difficult to find, and these pieces are almost clear, which is even harder to find. Most of the pieces of peridot that you work with today are sort of natural. They have inclusions, they're opaque, they're not transparent, which is fine. I'm so glad you like your stones. Peridot, here's what's interesting, ready? I have been working with, and I'm actually putting a set together for you, with what are known as the foundational stones from the book of Revelation in the Christian Bible. In Revelation, John speaks of the foundation stones, okay, the 12 foundational stones. These are thought to be these stones that are actually that make up the actual ground in heaven, okay? So John in Revelation, I think it's Revelation 21, goes ahead and lists the 12 foundational stones, and there's huge controversy because he doesn't say peridot, okay? He says chrysolite, Chrysolite, chrysolite. So biblical scholars, I know how awesome is this? Biblical scholars agree that he had to have been talking about peridot because he also talks about chrysoprase. So that it's not like he could have meant chrysoprase and he said chrysolite. He mentions chrysoprase too. No, the 12 foundational stones from the New Testament of the Bible are interestingly not the same as the Synergy 12. I haven't worked with them as closely as I've worked with the Synergy 12, but like I said, we're putting a set together for you next month of the foundational 12, and so I'll be very interested to hear your experiences working with those crystals, because I think they create their own energy vortex. I think it's a different vortex because the Synergy 12 is about accelerating your spiritual development, helping you manifest. The Synergy 12 are about spontaneous manifestation. I think the foundational stones, I know, I'm taking you to some deeper places for the rest of the year. I actually have a whole kit coming to honor the Holy Spirit called the Spiritus Sancti kit. And so we're moving into deep energies next month, but it's a lot of it's a customer request too. So just stay tuned. There's lots of really special things coming. Okay. Peridot, heart chakra. Yeah, I know, right? Measure of hardness scale, 9. Although I don't necessarily think that's true. I would put this more at a 6 on the measure of hardness scale. Sun sign Leo, fire sign. And it primarily comes from China at this point. Most of the good peridot comes from China. Yeah, I didn't call it the Holy Spirit kit. I wanted to honor the original Latin. So Spiritus Sancti is the Latin for the Holy Spirit. I'm very excited about that because we're going to be talking about the white ray. And in fact, I'm talking about this, and it's not irrelevant because Dambarite is one of the stones of the Holy Spirit. And that's why I'm saving it for last, because my heart is just pounding. I can't wait to tell you about Dambarite. I truly believe that there are probably only a few dozen stones that literally can change your life. And for me, Dambarite is one of those stones. I don't think it's a coincidence that it is part of the Synergy 12 and one of the most accessible forms of the Synergy 12, which is really great because everybody seriously needs to have a piece of Dambarite in their collection. Okay. Peridot is considered to be the crystal of the elves, the crystal of the tree people. It's called the cornucopia stone. And in many countries and in many traditions, it is thought and totally overlooked. I agree with you completely. I think it is one of the most overlooked. Yes, you do find peridot in Kenya. Thank you for clarifying that, Sue. There are pockets. Just like I said, there was once a little pocket of pink topaz in Russia that's no longer active, all mined out. So sometimes you have locations and deposits around the world that may still be yielding a small amount of a stone, but primarily I would say probably 90 to 95% of the world's peridot comes from China at this point. Okay. It is thought to, are you ready for this? It is thought to bring the 3 Ps, okay? And that's how I always remember it, the 3 Ps of peridot. The 3 Ps of peridot, these are called the gifts of peridot. And this is from people who talk about it as the cornucopia stone of abundance. Are you ready? Power, prosperity, and peace. Peridot is thought to bring all of those things in abundance: power, prosperity, and peace. So if that's work that you are doing, this little guy should be with you. This is a good bra size. You could still wire wrap this tiny piece. You could have this set into jewelry. If you know someone who does electroforming or any kind of copper plating, they could make a beautiful piece of jewelry for you too. I have a little tiny dish on my altar that I use to hold my smaller stones that are really important to me, like the morganite from our last set that, you know, to me is one of my favorite of the stones that I've given you, that little tumbled morganite. That stone is big heart magic. So you might want to find just a little altar bowl. Do you remember the little Turkish ones I had? A lot of you got those, the little hand-painted ones. Keep that on your altar and keep your tinier stones in there so that you don't lose track of them and you still get to enjoy their magic. I know it's trickier with the smaller stones sometimes, but think about working with your crystal that way. Okay, so that was your bonus. That was your gift. Dambarite. It's time for Dambarite. Okay, let me dispense with the details about Dambarite. Actually, I wanted to read you the affirmation for Dumortierite, and then I'll get to Dambarite. So I'm just circling back to the affirmation. Dumortierite is: I step through the doorway into a corridor of indigo light. Here, all psychic channels are open and active, and here I transcend. The impossible becomes possible, and I am connected to the wind. Isn't that beautiful? Love it. Yeah. It's so good. And you know, I mean, peridot is the most overlooked of all the prosperity stones. People always focus on citrine, you know, and yellow fluorite, and rightfully so. I mean, those are powerful stones of abundance, yellow apatite. But I think if you're not including peridot on your abundance altar, you're missing something. I think it's really special, and you don't need much. You know, with crystals, truly, when you're doing the energy work with them, it's not the size that matters. It's the energy of the stone that needs to be present. So hold on to that piece. Okay, let's talk about Dambarite and the Holy Spirit. So here are the details. Dambarite, crown chakra, Maz scale, the measure of hardness scale, 7.5. It's aligned with all fire signs, element of fire and wind. Primary sources, Mexico and Madagascar. Color waves. You find Dambarite in a perfect clear, a very light yellow, and then the sweetest kind of sweet light pink, which is what mine is. You're not going to find like pink, pink, pink. Like if you're looking for bubblegum pink, they would have to enhance it. When I talk about natural pink stones, like natural pink topaz and natural pink Dambarite, you're not going to find it in the same intensity as you find a pink sapphire. So I just want to make sure that your expectations are realistic about the intensity of color that you're going to find, because it doesn't heat to the level that it would need to in the ground. It's sort of like kunzite. You know what I mean? Like you'll find kunzite to a certain intensity of pink. They'd have to irradiate it to get to a deeper shade of pink. And in my personal opinion, that doesn't always enhance the value of the stone. In fact, sometimes it detracts from the value of the stone. So Tracy, in the case of Dambarite, no. Okay? And in the case of petalite, no. The colors don't matter. And so if you have golden healer Dambarite, now some believe that's a more healing version of it. Let me just tell you, Dambarite, in my opinion, and I know this is a huge statement to make, Dambarite, in my opinion, next to sugilite, because I do think sugilite is probably, of the stones that we have access to now on our planet, is probably the preeminent healer in terms of helping to heal the most serious and chronic conditions that are plaguing our planet today. You can go online. I won't tell you the stories because I don't want to contribute to things that might be seen as rumor. But you can go online and start to read about how people are using sugilite in Africa, in China, to heal what I consider to be absolutely, at least by modern medicine, methods, incurable diseases, okay? And putting incurable diseases in remission. Now, that can be a source of huge hope for people. And what I tell people, I have clients who come to me with cancer and HIV and other things that people are using sugilite to heal. And when clients come to me and say, hey, does it work? What I always say is, I don't think it hurts to try. And I don't think it hurts to believe that it's possible, because I do think that your thoughts dictate your outcomes. And so if you think something can help you, Who am I to question that, right? And what I tell people is, what's the worst that could happen? You know what I mean? Like, so you held your crystal. It's not going to hurt you. And so I would say next to Sujilite, which I would consider the preeminent, truly preeminent, and Tara wears it every day. I wear it every day. I have a Sujilite bracelet, little bead bracelet that I wear every day. If not a ring, I had a ring on earlier this week. I have a necklace that I wear. As I have a chronic condition that can result in cancer, and so I'm just mindful of that. So it is a member of the Synergy 12, considered a master healer. Like I said, next to Sujilite, the preeminent healing stone on our planet. It facilitates angelic communication. Nicole's asking a great question, by the way. How do you work with Sujilite for a health issue? Wear it and carry it. Have it with you all the time. Crystals work by being in your immediate environment. They love to make skin contact with you, which is why I have brought you Sujilite pendants. I have brought you bead necklaces. I have brought you bracelets. I have brought you chip necklaces. I have brought you tumbled. I have brought you some people who did Denver Insiders last year actually got like larger carved pieces of Sujilite. And when I bring you jewelry, I always bring you jewelry that touches your skin, because I think having the stone make skin contact with you, especially around the areas where you're experiencing inflammation or chronic illness and disease and pain, I think it's really important to make contact. And if you have a piece of jewelry, start wearing it. Like I said, what's the worst that can happen? That you believe that healing is possible. But I'll tell you, the stories coming out of Africa and China will blow your mind. And that's why it's interesting, because I work with someone who mines directly from a Sujilite mine in South Africa. So my relationship with this particular stone is close. I know the people mining it. And what they've told me is, people in China, I mean, individual bracelets are going anywhere from $400 to $600 for teeny, like little teeny things that you probably wouldn't even want. Not great quality, but that's because there is such a strong belief in that country that it's doing this work. So Dambarite is a stone of the white light and what we call the transparent ray. I'm going to read you Robert Simmons' affirmation for Dambarite. Are you ready? Because I just think it's so beautiful. I love it so much. So this is Robert Simmons' words, not mine. Ready? I love and enfold. What a word. I love and enfold the spirits of human beings, and I remind them of their home. I want a stone that reminds me of my home. I know. Well, I have friends who are very worried about cancer, and you better believe they all have Sujilite. Even my non-believer friends who have a mother who died of cancer or a father who died of cancer, you better believe they have all been gifted Sujilite by me at a holiday or for a birthday or whatever, because why not? And every single time I've given it, no one has rejected it and said, oh, you're crazy, or these weird gemstone things, or how does that work? They're always like, great. If it does it, great. And if not, it's just a pretty bracelet. It's a pretty necklace, right? Let's talk about what the transparent ray is, okay? You've heard of the violet ray, you've heard of the golden ray, right? Solar plexus, crown chakra. Each one of the energy centers in your body emits a ray. And that ray of energy, that light, can be directed to a source. So you can activate the golden ray in your own solar plexus and then direct that energy to someone else to empower them. You can activate the violet ray at your crown chakra to call in divine connection to source and peace and protection, and then direct that violet ray out to a person or to a place to heal the planet, for example. The transparent ray is thought to be an invisible source of light, okay, that you can't see, but that illuminates the darkness. So it's a force of transmutation. I hope that's not too complex for you. It's a complex idea. It's an invisible ray of light energy that only works. It counters the darkness. And so it transmutes any darkness through its own light source, through its own light power. In my experience, Dambarite is the only stone that does that. Yeah, Becca, that's what I was saying, Becca, is I have friends who have parents who died of cancer, and they don't have cancer, but they're worried about it. And what they have found is they worry a little bit less when they're wearing Sujilite or carrying Sujilite. It gives hope, and it helps people to believe that they don't have to live out the same lineage that their mother did or their father did or whatever, because cancer is so prevalent around our planet right now. There's a lot of people in that position. Okay, infinite light in infinite darkness. That is my phrase for Dambarite. I'll say it again. Dambarite is a source of infinite light in infinite darkness. There's literally nothing Dambarite cannot transmute. It makes petalite look like it's a joke, okay? truly, because Dambarite, not only is Dambarite coming in and protecting you and clearing negative energy and transmuting all that energy single-handedly, but it's calling in all of that energy of healing to your physical and your etheric body. So that's why we call it a master healer. It's a member of the Synergy 12. It is an important stone for shamanic soul retrieval and rebirthing. You can actually use Dambarite in visualization to go in and extract that trauma I was talking about. You only need your little tiny piece. And so we're going to do that tonight. We're going to do a 5-minute, are you ready? Told you tonight was fast and furious. We're going to do a 5-minute, right now, excursion, a little shamanic excursion to go in and find one pocket in your body where trauma is resistant and see if we can't move some of that energy out of the soul body. Dambarite measure of hardness scale 7.5. So you are safe to wear it. You don't have to treat it carefully. You can work with it without concern. And then my affirmation for Dambarite, which was in your classroom page, but just to reiterate it, is I open myself to the higher realms, to connection, contact, and communion with Source, and may this supreme vibration bring me into alignment with truth and consciousness. I am a channel to eternity. Infinite light in infinite darkness. It's an interesting concept, right? Kind of beautiful. If you don't have it now, you can still do the meditation with us and imagine, you can use a quartz wand if you want. It's not going to have the same effect. That's the challenge with GemWise, is I don't have a substitute for you. But I will tell you, if you like this meditation tonight, my team put up the class tools link. There are some forms of Dambarite left on the website, and so you could use your Labor Day code to get a piece for 17% off, which is pretty good. So if you don't have it, you could always choose to purchase it tonight, and then as soon as your stone comes in a couple of days, you could come back and watch this again and just do the 5-minute exercise with me. Yeah, it is a bevel. It's complete lines going down all sides. That's one of the, hallmarks of Dambarite, how you know you have Dambarite and not quartz. Plus it has a flat termination, whereas quartz has a pointed termination, so that's another hallmark difference. That's right, at Lux Perpetua, right? Perpetual light in infinite darkness. So I want you to close your eyes, roll your shoulders back, calling in our healing guides to circle around us this evening. And, we did a body scan last night in Cosmic Comfort, if you were with me. I know I've done like 100 different classes and things this week, so if that's all kind of a blur for you, I'm sorry. I've been in front of you every 15 minutes doing something different. But last night we did a body scan, so you may actually end up working in the same space tonight if you did the body scan with me last night, and that's okay. It's okay to go into a space twice, especially if it needs energy work from you. So what I want you to do is I want you to notice your body, notice your head, your neck, your shoulders. Soften, by the way, as you go. So as I mention your head, soften the muscles in your neck, the top of your head. As I mention your shoulders, soften your shoulders. As I mention your arms and your elbows and your hands, let them just fall loose to your side. As I mention your upper back, your lower back, your stomach, and your large intestine, just softening, letting yourself fully relax. Your hips, your thighs, your knees, your shins, all the way down to your ankles, the soles of your feet, and your cute little toes, and just softening all of that down. There shouldn't be a single muscle in your body right now that's tense. And in this completely softened state, this is where we can identify trauma, because in a fully softened state, your body should naturally be resistant to pain. So I want you to notice right now in your body, where are you still tense? Even though you just gave your muscles, you just gave your organs, you just gave your skin permission to relax, what part of you did not relax? It's a very interesting question. For me, it's the lower back. It's my sciatic. That's the place that my MS just likes to go and live and torture me in. So for me, I can soften everything, but my sciatic is still going to show up for me. Denise says L5. Jackie said shoulders and back, right? Annie probably sciatic along with me. Love it. The heart space, the jaw, throat and shoulders, lower abdomen, lower back. So just focusing right now on where you're feeling tension and any pain in your body. You've just told your body to soften, completely relax. You're safe, you're well, you have nowhere to be, nothing to do. Your entire central nervous system should now just soften. And so where is the pain still sitting? I want you to choose one place. So if it was neck and back, choose neck or back. If it was arms and shoulders, choose arm or shoulder. I want you to choose a place that we can go into right now with this little magical crystal. You got it? Robin's is sacral, Kathy's shoulders and back, Alicia's her chest. I hear you, Cynthia. Yeah, so going into that space, Tammy, you got to choose. So I see you, sciatic, right hip, left knee. Like, choose one of those places that we can go in together right now. And I want you to imagine, okay, it's an interesting concept, but I want you to imagine using this almost like a little scalpel, okay? So I want you to imagine going in, and you can actually physically touch the spot if you want. I'm going to slice into energetically right where I'm not showing you my sciatic pain, but I'm slicing there, making skin contact and opening that area with this Dambarite, okay? We're doing crystal surgery right now, my friends. Are you ready? Okay, and once it's open, I want you to imagine, and again, just put the crystal right to the space, and I want you to imagine sending the energy of that crystal right to the origin of that pain. Calling upon our healing guides, direct the energy of this Dambarite to the exact spot, the exact location, the origin space of the pain or trauma or tightness that we're feeling. Sending it right in. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little itchy, which is usually a signal that energy is being shifted and moved. It's very natural to feel itchy during this period or this exercise because you're shifting a lot of energy in your body right now. So just cutting through and then touching the crystal through that place that you've just opened energetically, touching the crystal right to that place. Now I want you to imagine sending the energy of that crystal through the tip. Make sure you're touching the actual terminated side to your pain location, okay? Yeah, the Dambarite gets hot. Shelly is exactly right. And it gets itchy. Again, itchiness is a sign to you, especially when you're doing crystal healing on your body. Itchiness is a sign that you're moving the energy. I mean, I'm seriously itchy. I'm gonna itch it for a minute. Okay, so just touching it in. Here's the spirit guides, healing guides of our physical bodies. Allow the energy of this Dambarite to penetrate this space. And I want you to imagine the energy of this crystal wrapping itself completely around that original location of the pain. You don't have to know the original location. That's where your guides come in. You're asking them to help you. You're allowing them to direct the flow of energy. It hurts, right? This is crystal surgery. But by the way, if you punctured your skin, you did this wrong. Okay, we are working on the outside of your epidermis, so please don't actually cut through skin. This is more of an energetic exercise. It's not a physical, literal exercise. Well, that's interesting about my aura. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, you can totally sleep with your Dambarite. It's totally fine. I have a piece by my bedside table because I use it for Akashic record meditations that I do sometimes at night and also for astral travel. So I want you to imagine the energy of that Dambarite completely entering your body, wrapping itself around the source of the original pain. And then spirit guides who are working with us. What is the wisdom of this original wound? What is this wound here to teach me? What is each sister's wound tonight here to teach her? What do we need to know? It's funny, for me, the word bravery came up. Like, get a spine. Right? Which, I mean, there have been times in my life where I was very brave and times in my life where I was not. Yeah, if you feel called to put this one inside your mouth, like if you're removing pain in dental pain or any kind of nerve pain, you can. It's safe for you to have inside of your mouth. I always wash my crystals before I put them, if I'm going to put one inside of my mouth for any reason, and just make sure that you don't, leave it in there for too long. You can make contact and then release. Teresa's hearing ease. Carol's hearing forgiveness, release, surrender. What is this original wound for you? It might not seem profound right now, but in some way you didn't listen the first time it came up. In fact, I'm itching really bad. You may not have listened the second time it came up. You may not have listened the 9th time it came up. And so now it's sitting there. And so spirit guides who are working with our healing tonight, we ask that if the time is right, and if we have done the work of finally acknowledging this original wound, we ask that you extract the pain from this location. Heal up this space energetically for us tonight, calling upon all of those divine healing energies, that beautiful, transparent light and infinite darkness, sending infinite light into the traumatized and unhealed spaces of your body tonight. And as you pull the crystal away, do it slowly. As you pull the crystal away, I want you to imagine pulling all that pain out of that location at the same time. And I'm just gently pulling the crystal away and pulling all of that discomfort away. And I don't know about you, okay? Now you can for sure do this around your epidural location if you have nerve damage. I had nerve damage from an epidural, so you can for sure do that. As you pull it away, did you feel? I mean, my piece is tiny. I shouldn't have felt literally like I was pulling a 10-pound block away from my body, but I sure did just now. And the piece went from being really hot back to regular temperature. That is, what you're sensing right now is your crystal working. And it shows up in different ways. But the heat, the vibration, the tingling, the itching, and the weight that you feel as you pull the crystal away, right? Huge chunk moving. Rose says a really long string. Mine was a string too. It felt like a chunky string, right? Get it out. And then what we're going to do is I want you to put your hand back on that spot. Not your Dambarite, just your hand. Okay, are you ready? I'm using my right hand. You can choose to use your left hand if it feels better to you. Put your hand back on that spot, and we're going to seal this up now, okay? I don't seal with the crystal that I open with. So I opened that wound with Dambarite. I'm actually going to seal it with my fingers. So I opened that wound to the right. I'm going to take my index finger and seal that wound to the left, okay? I'm sealing that energy out. You don't want to leave yourself open like that. I mean, when you open yourself energetically that way, you always have to close yourself back up. And now I want you to imagine through your hand, in Great Spirit, Source, God, Goddess, Higher Self, I ask that through each of our hands that you send the most divine white light of peace, transformation, healing to this space. Fill that vacuum or that void of energy that we just reduced, those long strings and big chunks and bricks of pain that we've been sitting with forever that we all just felt. Fill that space with the beautiful divine white light of peace and the divine green light of healing so that there is no vacuum, no void, no place for energy to get stuck, nothing to be shifted, nothing to be cleared. All is well. All is well. It's such a powerful affirmation, right? All is well, and all is well, and all manner of things shall be well, right? It's one of my favorite, that's one of my favorite prayers, Julian of Norwich. So all is well, and all manner of things shall be well. So good, right? Is your hand hot? How does your space feel? My back feels really good right now. And I literally had a heating pad on it last night. So for me to feel like I've had some relief from that sciatic is like a Christmas present right now. right now. No, it's a great question, Angela. She said, does this work hurt the crystal? It sure doesn't, actually. It doesn't hurt the crystal at all. Your crystal is here to do this work with you. And then my job is to be a translator, because you may not have known that this crystal could do this work with you. And so I'm here to sort of be a channel for that piece of the wisdom. Right? Cheers to that. And you totally can. Caitlin says, can I do this on somebody else? Girl, that's how you become the crystal healer you were meant to be. Can you imagine sharing this with your mom or with your sister or your best friend or your neighbor or your partner, like somebody who's experiencing pain? If they're open to this, it's a beautiful thing. So, doing work on yourself, you do not have to clear your crystals. You do energy work on other people with your crystals, and then you smudge them. Okay, so just white sage smoke will clear any energy off your crystals. But for me, I don't clear energy off when I'm doing my own healing work, because those crystals came in to do that work with me, and they're already holding that vibration. They're ready to do that work, so I don't have to clear it for that. Tara says she's tired now. Is it Tara or Tara? I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, you absolutely can, Colin, and thank you for that. You can use black kyanite. You can just touch your piece to a piece of black kyanite, and it'll be instantly cleared too. All right, so are you ready for giveaways? I'm going to do 2 of the giveaways right now, and I'm going to do the 3rd one in the GemWise group tomorrow, because I promised I would save one in case anybody couldn't be here tonight. I'm so glad that was a beautiful exercise for you. So I'm going to start by giving away to one of you this beautiful quartz flame. This is going to magnify energy in your space and create a total vortex around you. This would be incredible for you to have on a healing altar, a prosperity altar. Any of your altars really are going to be supercharged by the energy of this beautiful clear quartz flame. So I would love to know if it is calling to you. so that I can gift it to one of you tonight. And then it goes in the mail tomorrow. We don't mess around here. You win a giveaway tonight, it's coming to you tomorrow. Are you guys excited about it? Isn't it pretty? I think it's so special. And I'm not sure who it goes to, so I can't wait to be as surprised as you are. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I see all of you. I'm reading all the comments. Isn't it pretty? So wonderful. Okay. I think I know who it's going to. I think. Okay. It is going to, drumroll please, Rebecca Roberts. It's so funny, Rebecca. I literally could hear your guides say your name to me just now. Rebecca Roberts. Rebecca Roberts. Rebecca Roberts. Rebecca Roberts. I don't know what you're going to do with this. They assure me this is for you. It is not something you're supposed to give to anyone else. They assure me that you will know exactly what to do with it when it arrives. They're telling me that you've almost been looking for a piece like this. I don't know if that's true. But they're saying this is almost like an answer for you. Were you asking for a crystal, or were you asking for a sign, or were you asking... I'm so curious, because they're saying that it's almost like you knew this was going to happen, or you had been calling this in, or you had been... It's almost like this is a sign or an affirmation of some kind. I don't know what it is, but I certainly hope... Oh my God, Rebecca! Aren't the guides good? They're so good. Okay. The second piece I'm giving away tonight, I'm going to save the double terminated obsidian. I'm so excited for you, Rebecca. I can feel you in my heart and my soul. I honestly am about to start crying. I'm getting all these channeled messages for you right now. I got to ask the guides to stop, because otherwise it'll turn into a reading for Rebecca. But you need to know that everything that you've been asking for is coming. And I don't know if you've been losing faith or just feeling like you're not being seen or you're not being heard, but everything that you have been holding on for is coming, and your guides are excited for you. Okay, I'm excited for you. Red hematoid quartz heart. You ready? This is the bleeding heart, right? This to me is one of the stones of the Divine Mother Mary. To me, this represents that sacred heart, the ability to be so vulnerable and so open, and yet know that you're constantly held, constantly safe, and constantly protected. That's the medicine of this. Even though I don't like quartz in the bedroom, this is one that you could keep in the bedroom, especially if you have night terrors, any kinds of nightmares, things where you wake up and you don't feel safe. Maybe keep it right on your bedside, and then when you're feeling that, just pull it over and put it on your heart and go back to sleep. And again, I don't know who this is supposed to go to, so I'm really excited to see who's feeling called to it tonight. Who needs the Sacred Heart? I'll put it in my bra for you for a minute. That's kind of fun. It'll come to you boob charged by me for free. It's pretty, isn't it? I know, it's really pretty. I see you. Amy Bell has night terrors. Girl, I hear you. I absolutely, absolutely hear you. 1,000%. Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm getting hits on a couple of you, so I'm really excited because I think I know where this one is going. I think I know. Okay, so I'm going to call upon you, Vanessa Gendra. Hi, Vanessa Gendra. So what I'm getting for you around this particular giveaway is that, and I don't know, Vanessa, if you do shamanic work, but if you don't, you're being called to do it. And this is a piece that you're going to end up using to heal and to help others. And so, Vanessa, this piece goes to you with just a heart full of love and really deep respect, because Vanessa, I don't know how much you realize about yourself as a healer, but you are a profound healer. And this piece is going to come and be a good companion to you as you do that work. I'm thrilled for you. So hopefully Vanessa is seeing that she is the winner and she's excited about that. You have shamanic possibilities, my dear. If you haven't activated them already, you should begin. And I hope this piece is going to be a good support for you. So good tonight, you guys. Okay, I'm saving the double terminated obsidian for the group. That'll be given away tomorrow. I hope you guys loved this class. I had a blast being with you. Thank you for being here. Code Labor Day, 17% off. Your kit is in the shop. Like I said, the green turquoise is worth the entire price of the kit, so get yours, especially because it's the same situation as last month. We won't really be able to restock it once supply is through. I'm excited, and this is your last chance for Denver Insider too, so if you're still thinking about it on the fence, I highly recommend that you do it, and I can't wait to shop for you. I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you guys very soon. Lots to come from Denver. If you're in sabbatical, I'll see you tomorrow night for our Karmic Release Ritual. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you soon.